Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Berserk, Episode 9. Alright, Griffith is getting plotted against by the brother of the king.
Yes.
And this very bald, conniving little gentleman. Yes. Yeah. I like conniving little gentlemen in the courts who manipulate the powerful, stupid, magnificent men with long locks of hair. Yes, so
the puppeteers that are like, yes, according to Kaikaku.
Yeah, and it's funny because we don't really know what his role in the court is, so he could be just some random noble that has no broad, means within the story. But given the fact that he's, working this so well,
he's a tricksy feller.
Yeah, I'm gonna be keeping my eye on him. But it's Julius or
Julian.
Julius. I think it's Julius because it's Julius Caesar. It's making the pun there about how the brother stabbed in the back and all that.
But they have the whole hunt. And the band of the Hawk is going to be escorting the king
instead of
the White Knights of Hoobity Ha.
Right. The royal paladins of lawful good.
Right.
They will not be there, which gives a lot of weight to this hunt.
Yes.
Because even though the assassination attempt might fail, there's a lot of problems that could still come to Griffith and the band of the Hawk, just based on how the nobles play out the event. It's like, your security was weak enough that an assassin even got through.
Yeah,
so,
what if he had gone after the king? Well, but except they're wanting to play this off as not being an assassination. Just like,
an accident.
A horrible accident.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, in general, it's going to look like, because Griffith is probably going to be near the king, like, people are going to be like, who would care to,
who would dare to, like,
Griffith? It's more of like, no, the king was potentially in danger.
You don't accidentally shoot an arrow in the general direction of the king.
Exactly. So there's a lot of ways this could go, but I'm excited to see how Guts and his big sword can kind of sort of solve the problem.
When all you have is a hammer, all your problems start to look like nails.
Yes. All right, guys. I'm excited. So without further ado, let's get into this. I feel like I've seen this before.
Wait, they changed something.
If they ever change anything, I'm gonna flip out. Like, I'm going to be like, I'd be like, what does that mean?
The eyes on the Behelit randomly open.
Yeah. Hunting a fox.
What does the fox say?
It says nope. Whoa. I love dogs like this where they're really just there to just bay and make like really loud like noises and stuff. Yep, tongue's all out. And the king just sits there and does nothing.
Yeah,
not as young as I used to be. I knew he was gonna say that. I was like, and your next line will be. He seems to be pretty isolated. It's not like a stray arrow would make sense to go in that direction.
Technically, I think Griffith is there to provide security with the band of Hawks, so.
I wonder what he's there for.
Yeah.
That fox isn't long for this world. Oh. Ah! Well done, kid. I'm gonna do that sometimes. Just come out of the bushes, just go. Like, that little smirk. Yeah. He's like, I don't get sore. Rickert sees right through him. Because we're that important now.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's actually a good thing.
Guts like,
I know, it's boring. Of course you do, buddy. No. And we replaced them. Yeah. She's not a fan of the animals getting killed. If you stare for too much longer, she might actually fall for you. She's like, oh yeah, he asked me a question. She hasn't been out of the castle like at all, probably. Oh, should is such a limiting word, my dear. Oh, that's a very good question.
Yeah.
Griffith's gonna be like, wow. Huh. Casca. I wonder how long she wants to follow Griffith. Forever and ever and ever, maybe? This is kind of cute. Like, it's so simple and just small, but it's them bonding over something small. Okay, I did not get that look. Was that happiness, actually? That Griffith's goal is, you know, closer to being realized by them bonding? Or was that sadness because she's realizing that, yes, they are bonding, therefore... Yes, you definitely will. This is not a good time.
It would be an obvious assassination if they fired now.
Yeah.
Feeling a lot more like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, a lot more like Game of Thrones, you're right. Holy crap. Oh. Oh no, don't run, don't run, don't run. Yep, saw this coming. The one person I have an actual fear about getting hurt is the princess, though, actually.
Because wouldn't that just screw everything up?
Yeah. They're aiming for Griffith. They shoot the princess. Okay, but Judo at least saw them with this, so... Oh, crap.
It's also a poisoned arrow.
Oh, you're right. That's right. It's too risky, Mr. Assassin. It's too risky. Oh my gosh, this is tense. Oh. Oh. That was sweet. Oh! Oh, crap! Oh my gosh, here we go. Oh, that assassin better get out of there fast, otherwise he's dead. What did you see? Yeah, it's in a good spot in his torso. Scan the environment.
Like, all right.
How long? How long? Oh, dang. Okay. Alright, so it hit nothing extremely vital yet. No blood. Oh, okay. But it is poison. But, what did it hit? Did it hit the Behelit? Did it hit the Behelit? You have got to be kidding me! You have got to be kidding me! Oh my gosh! I am getting really nasty chills right now. Yeah, yeah. No, that is a talisman of evil, and it says, we have use for this one, yes. Do not let him die yet, no.
I love how they constantly do those close-ups of the Behelit after they've shown, like, the eye thing open. And you're always wondering, like, is it gonna open again?
I want to see your glorious frame. No way! Strip right now! Oh, she cares so much! She realizes it's her fault. Yeah. And now he's gonna console her, and then... Oh, Casca, I'm so sorry, Casca. Yeah, seriously. Oh. Because they don't know what position he was in when... Yeah, investigate. And keep Casca, you stay with Griffith. Oh, wait. Oh. Oh! Whoa! Whoa, those eyes! Those eyes! Griffith knows. What is quite expensive? Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot,
And that, like,
Griffith.
smile.
Yeah.
He's like, I hit him.
Virtually. Yeah. That was the repercussions bit that I was kind of excited about. But this could go farther than just that. Yeah.
Took an arrow for the princess and is somehow totally fine.
Oh my gosh. It's as if fate has a hand in all of this.
Yeah.
Hey, you shouldn't yell so much as people can hear things. Whoa. Whoa. That is not the look I perceived, but okay. I like it.
Well, and also considering, like, if he actually went so far as to try and assassinate him, that meant that he was feeling threatened.
I've seen that look before. Whoa. Is that Griffith's true nature? The one that
The way
he gazes? Oh. Yes.
Like a hawk gazing at its prey.
Right.
Yeah.
Now paranoia is going to set in, and he might do something even more stupid. Now all this ominous stuff happening, these little shots here and there to build up tension. Oh, hey, Guts.
Yo.
Yo.
So about what happened.
His library? Awesome. Wow.
他にもいろいろあるぞ。何なんだ用事って。
Yeah.
お前にある男を殺してもらいたいんだ。
Now I know why it's called assassination. This is not. Oh my gosh. Wow. And if Tudor assassins were going after the princess, quote unquote, who's to say they wouldn't also go after
The prince?
the prince? Yeah. Well,
Or the king's brother.
The king's brother, yeah.
誰よ。ミッドランドの第二王位継承権者、白龍将軍ユリウス伯爵。
Count Julius, yeah.
この矢に塗られていたのはカラギル豆という猛毒だ。
Haha, curiosity in books will lead you to some very interesting knowledge.
最近購入したのはただ一人。次女の一人に金をつかませ探らせたところ、
Oh my
今日の夕
gosh.
刻、奴がこっぴどく絞られ
There
て
you go.
ユリウスの執務室から
Griffith,
出ていくの
you
に
genius.
見かけている。暗殺だ。汚い仕事だし、決して失敗も許されない。
Oh my gosh.
顔
Will you
を
do
見ら
it?
れる。
Yeah.
だからこそ、この仕事はお前に頼みたい。
Oh my gosh.
頼まれてくれ。
I am so hyped right now. He's like, you know I'll do it. Yeah, it's a little bit
死
different.
の子の言わずに命令すりゃいいんだよ。通り。
Oh my god. I don't think he should use his signature big sword, though. People will know it was probably him.
Well, at least he's got this black cloak.
Oh. Dang.
Yep.
All right. All right. So we kind of knew that Griffith, was going to succeed at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But the quicker and quicker this stuff kind of moves along,
Yeah.
the more and more I realize that there has to be some kind of point within the story where we'll catch up to episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Or Griffith is going to fail really hard at some point along the way, and that's going to set him back.
Gotcha.
And now I just don't know which it's going to be. Because we get things like this happening.
Where it's like, assassinate the king's brother for me.
Yeah, it's like, do you think that might be a little bit quick to... Maybe you should confront the king with the evidence. Oh, I guess that's a good point. The king might just side with his brother because,
it's his brother.
it's his brother. Yeah, he would never do that.
And there's already precedent. Like, they would have no reason to suspect Griffith would have motive to kill the king's brother.
Some
Because-
people would.
Possibly.
Some people would. I think this is a little bit rash on Griffith's part, but it's still tactical. It's just
super aggressive.
Super aggressive, yeah. Oh shoot.
Assassination.
Yeah. I have some problems with this, but I'm really excited because this could go horribly wrong for Griffith. Like, it could go really badly.
Yep.
And in a lot of ways, Griffith has been succeeding so much by almost like as if fate or the hand of some being was kind of guiding him to success. But we know that success in this regard might have some messy things along the way.
And it's a definite possibility.
Right, and one of the things that I think is the most obvious is that there will be some kind of schism between him and Guts, Griffith and Guts.
Although right now they seem pretty tight.
Right, but Griffith asking Guts to assassinate someone off of some pretty good evidence.
Yeah.
But to everyone else, essentially, if Guts is caught, Griffith will just be like, I don't know, I didn't do this. I didn't order him to do that.
Yep.
Like, it's the, I will disavow all knowledge of your actions.
Exactly.
And
this is a
you
Black
failed
Ops
me.
mission.
Yeah, exactly. And,
and the whole thing of like, and failure is not accepted.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's why he's giving it to Guts, because Guts maybe also has this kind of like, he just survives, like he keeps pushing through.
Sure.
I think that's kind of a theme of the show in particular, though, is that they're both kind of in a way like fate has like just will in a meta sense, the story has willed that Guts will survive up until, you know, later points in the story.
Yep.
So in a lot of ways I'm not worried about Guts dying. I'm more worried about Guts being like betrayed, or Guts being like abandoned, or Guts just losing all of his friends, you know, like not being put into a position where he has others who he can call family or can rely on. And Griffith is very reliable, like in terms of just being a friend, a brother, and a leader.
An ally with the king.
Yes, Yeah. Griffith is one of those people that you'd want on your side.
Oh, yeah.
And yet Griffith is having him kill someone probably in his bed. Like that. It's messy, it's dirty, and it's underhanded.
All of which Griffith admitted to.
Yes, all of which he admitted to. But like, if Griffith was wanting to do this in such a way that would be a little bit more direct and maybe a little less kind of messy in the consequences area, he could challenge Julius to single combat over the accusation of him trying to either assassinate the princess or kill him. And because he is, you know, he has the title of Count as well, they are on equal status level, probably enough. Like, he's probably a little, Julius is still a little bit higher,
King's brother,
because he has a claim to the throne.
Right.
But he could go in and slap his glove against his face and be brazen about it, and that would be just as aggressive. But Griffith probably would know, oh, I've got experience on my side. When was the last time you fought in a real battle, Julius?
Griffith could probably, definitely.
Right. The only person who I'm not completely certain about now whether or not Griffith could beat in a fight is Guts, actually, because Guts has been now fighting with the Band of the Hawk.
He's gotten a bit more swole. Yeah.
He's gotten a lot bigger.
Yeah.
That's another thing to think about. Like, Griffith was basically a kid when
Griffith and Guts were both.
Guts was basically a kid
when they fought
before. I know Griffith kind of was as well, but Guts especially was. Guts is now like big man, you know.
Yeah, exactly. All those 200, sword swings every day.
I love when he was basically saying, like, I just like swinging my sword. It's my nature. I was just like, all right, show. This is just prime like parody material. Like I know you've told me that there are some legendary like outtake dub crack things or whatever for this show.
Yes, and I'm so excited to see you watch those.
Yeah, once we finish the show. But in particular, that was a very funny line.
Yes, a lot of phrasing in this show.
Yes, a lot of phrasing.
It's a thing. Like, Yeah.
Yeah, there was also a lot of subtle, non-verbal things being communicated with
they like to
Casca
do
this
that.
episode. The princess is obviously enamored a bit by Griffith because he has this almost, I wouldn't hesitate to use this, but like angelic kind of look to him.
Right.
He's like,
He's elf-like, kind of.
yeah, he's elf-like. Thank
Yeah.
you. He's like too bright to look at. Oh, so much
Yeah.
white, you know. And then he also has this very kind, warm, charismatic demeanor where he commands not only your respect but your attention in a
Yeah.
positive way. But he also makes other people feel comfortable around him. But what we saw this episode was kind of his dual nature. Is
Yes.
he will very much use his high charisma score to his advantage.
That's
and
right.
he doesn't need to manipulate or anything like that. He's just being a very, magnetic kind of charming person, which
That's
is,
right.
going to make people like you, which, some might see that as manipulative, but I'm talking less along the lines of like what the bald kind of guy
Right.
kind of, finagling with Julius was doing, and more along the lines of like, hey, let's do this stupid little thing with a leaf because that, shows that I am willing to bring
Right.
down my measure of decorum in order to connect
Yes.
more with you. And
And it was
like,
also a way
huh.
to basically kind of deflect the question of
Oh, yes.
war.
War
Because,
and talk about killing people in battle
Right.
and why men are so disposed towards violent acts.
yeah.
That was very clever. Good.
Oh yeah,
Good thing to reminding me
like,
of that.
Like
yeah.
he probably could have totally answered it too, but it's the idea
Yes.
that it's a heavy subject.
Right, and when you're first talking with someone
Mm-hmm.
alone like this, I think it would behoove Griffith to think about the kind of things that would build some measure of trust / connection with them.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
almost conveniently, this assassination attempt provided the perfect
Exactly.
opportunity for trust to be built more so than connection, because
yeah.
from her perspective, he's basically her hero right now.
Because he saved her at least once, maybe twice.
Maybe twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the other reason why the assassination attempt is a lot better than, say, challenging Julius to a duel, because that probably wouldn't gain him more favor with the princess if he, challenged her uncle to a duel to the death.
Right, but I guess the main thing I'm worried about is that Griffith didn't give here is the way you're going to kill Julius.
Yeah, don't kill him with your big sword.
Right.
Here's a knife. you know.
Yeah. I'm almost thinking like he's going to be like, hey, here's the knife of a fellow nobleman, which, I have, grabbed,
Procured,
through some means.
Sure.
And then
Or
we're
some
going to-
weapon from the other side that's like of their mate. or something
Sure,
like
sure. Some kind of thing to point the blame very specifically. And that could reinforce, especially if it was from the Tudor Empire or whatever, have it be from them, because then that reinforces the idea that the attempt on Griffith / the princess's life was
an
the general
assassination against the princess. Yeah.
Exactly. And that would work perfectly in Griffith's favor.
Sure.
Especially if Guts is very successful. The big thing though is that we're getting to see is that Griffith is not above this. Like,
Right.
this is something that Griffith seems to have no shame, remorse, or anything about doing. So
For all his, white regal paladin-ness,
exactly,
he's not above underhanded tactics.
he's not above killing the king's brother, essentially, to
Right.
get what he wants. Now, here's the thing that's also a big deal with this. Griffith cannot be the one to do this. It makes no sense on any tactical, strategic
to have him be the
level
one to
to
kill
have
the king's brother?
him be the one to do it.
Right, yeah. Of
But
course.
here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Because he's not doing it, he might, this is the thing, Griffith might be able to section off a little bit of the guilt, a little bit of the, maybe
Sure.
the human response of like, I didn't technically kill him.
I don't think Griffith would kind of convince himself like that. He'd just be like, this is what I had to do, kind of a thing.
Right, because he feels like he's destined to be
Exactly.
greater than
And
this.
the guy tried to kill him.
Yes, there's also the fact that this is just simple vengeance in a lot of ways, because
Yeah.
"Oh, you tried to kill me," and that look
Yeah,
where
it's like-
Griffith just like
It's like
zeroes in on him.
Julius was like, "I'm going to assassinate you." No, you.
I'm meaning more along the lines of, this is something a lot of times I've seen in stories where there are specific character types that are ambitious, but they do everything themselves. Kind of like Littlefinger, for instance. Littlefinger is not a great example of this. I would say, no, that's the difference between Littlefinger and Varys, for instance. Varys is almost never going to do things himself, but Littlefinger likes to do specific things himself.
Okay.
He gets a little bit of a out of it.
Right.
Varys, in particular, puts himself as being like above those petty things because he does this all for the realm. I am not selfish at all.
Yeah, that's probably another reason why the connection between the guy in the court, the bald guy in the court, and Varys is so strong. If he just suggested to Julius, what if he died? What if Griffith was gone? Like, he didn't do anything, but essentially, for all intents and purposes, it was kind of his assassination attempt.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. But back to my point. The bit with Griffith not doing it, I don't think it means much. But what I'm getting the vibe from Griffith in particular is that because he has this dual nature, is that each side of him has limits where he needs to switch into the other one.
Okay.
And potentially because he's shifted into this other kind of hunting mode, kind of Griffith, like I have my
the hawk
ambition.
looking
the
at
hawk,
its prey.
exactly. He's still sending someone else to do it because it makes sense, but I want to see what is the point when Griffith actually has to get his hands dirty. And that's where I'm thinking he might have some limitations.
Gotcha.
I get the vibe that Griffith is one that chose charisma as maybe the means by which he would ascend with his ambition and such, because he felt like
that's the most effective.
It's the most effective.
There's a limit
and also
to what I can do on my onesie.
That too, but also because he doesn't have to do most of it.
Gotcha.
Like, a lot of it will be because of the actions of others that he requests of them to do. And it's impressive more than anything. It's not really like, oh, that's a bad vibe. It's more impressive that Griffith gets this kind of response from people like Guts, where he's like, this isn't like you. Why are you saying all of that other
why
stuff?
aren't you just
order me to do it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, though. Griffith, I feel like, felt like he had to make Guts believe like it was the right thing to do, that he needed to manipulate him, maybe, like, even though the evidence is accurate, he needed to give him a
Present
reason
it
why.
in a favorable light.
Exactly, but that's the kind of thing that charisma can sometimes be the dark side of it. Even though this is a good thing of it, Griffith could have another thing where he's like, all right, now I need you to kill the king. And he's like, well, why? It's like, well, I'm going to marry the princess tomorrow, and I need you to basically have it to where once I marry the princess, I can have no other, people against me. It's like, where does this stop?
Gotcha.
Where is the end of this? And this is something that I foresee, the dual nature aspect of Griffith, the fact that he will readily kill anyone that's in his way, regardless of status or the potential consequences of it. It's a problem. It's the smallest sign of a problem. But also this comes along the vibe with the fact that the Behelit saved
him from the arrow.
Which, can we just talk about that right now?
Like,
freaking Nosferatu Zod is like actually kind of warning like Guts. Like, he's like, dude, when this guy's ambition fails, you will die a horrible death. And it's almost like he's saying, because that's the way it is, and because we know that Guts, we can reverse this actually, because we know that Guts doesn't die until that point, and we know that Griffith becomes king, Griffith's ambition will not ever falter until after the episode one, which is crazy, because then that kind of means in just the slightest bit. And I'm not going to like you can be as poker face as you want on this.
No problem.
Okay,
I don't have any trouble.
I'm not going to try and look at your reactions or anything like this, but I feel like that means that what is in episode 1 is like mostly like Griffith's ambition. Like Griffith's ambition brought the whole package of episode 1 to be, regardless of whether or not the Behelit used him. Like, I'm getting the really great vibe that like Nosferatu Zod sees the ploy, as he put it.
It's this sort of One Ring kind of a thing.
Right, that Griffith is being used. He is being kind of puppeteered, maybe. Like that whole that ties with the whole idea of the hand of God hovering above.
Right,
the egg of the king, you know, or whatever. That whole thing is basically Griffith is like groomed, is like being groomed for like the future, and there's like dark forces at work that are kind of helping him forward. And they said it literally. It was it Judo or was it Rickard or Corcus? Yeah, they were saying like, this isn't a miracle. This is the luck of the devil.
This is the devil's own luck.
The devil's own luck.
It must be some kind of ward against evil.
Yeah, I was like, 50% of that was right. The other half you need to flip around because, oh man,
yep. Isn't it amazing how they can do that? And again, I know I said this in the reaction, but every time they show the Behelit up close, because you had that part where the eye thing opened and Guts was like, what is that? Every time they show it up close, I'm just like, is it gonna stay like that or like, yeah.
Man,
boy.
Well, here's the other thing. They set up a couple other plot points, a couple other plot lines in here. There's Casca's bit. There's Griffith and the princess. There's Griffith's bit with the assassination. There's the fact that Julius now believes that Griffith could suspect him and might be paranoid enough to maybe have like guards, like secret guards, around like maybe his chambers or something like that. That's why I'm a little bit worried for Guts in particular. I don't think they're going to separate Guts from like disband him from the Band of the Hawk or something like immediately after this attempt, but it seriously could happen. Like I'm really worried that because we're coming up on like, what is this, like almost the halfway point in the story,
getting close.
Yeah. Generally around these kinds of like halfway points in a 25 episode kind of setup here, you can have some big kind of twists, like something big that shifts everything. And one of them could be that Guts is like a fugitive for trying to assassinate, the king's brother. And it's like, the Band of the Hawk can't save him. And that's where he builds up his
black swordsman
reputation. Like there's all these little things that could go horribly wrong and also like very right in such a way to where the story gets like the story moves too fast almost. Like,
it's been moving pretty fast so far.
It's been moving pretty fast for Griffith. But right now it's a question of, will they focus on maybe like developing some more of the Band of the Hawk a little bit and maybe have them succeed in a way to where Guts stays with the Band of the Hawk and they show more of them kind of doing their usual thing and build them up as characters.
All right.
And maybe then they can focus a little bit more on like Casca. But if they, if things go wrong, then it's just Guts will be without a family again.
Yeah.
I think there were a couple little like moments in here where I caught some little kind of bits of humor from Guts, and I think that's worth noting. Kind of the little bits where Guts was smirking in the beginning.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, the whole thing of him just coming around and
yes, that and Rickard being all like kind of snippy back at him. He's like, hey, and then Rickard's like, I don't know what I didn't say anything,
No.
I want more of that, just so we can appreciate the Band of the Hawk more.
Yep.
Because I feel like that whole kind of family squad kind of thing is just fun.
Yes, it is.
I enjoy that a lot. Like,
Right.
it makes me endeared to the main characters a lot because they have these people as side characters.
Exactly.
But it also gives more weight to when they're on screen, just in general.
Yeah.
Because I loved Pippin, like, upon meeting him, but, like, Pippin, for instance, hasn't said a dang word, like, since then. So
it's one of those
stuff like that.
It's one of those things where because they do a lot of the stuff very subtly in this show with, like, you know, Casca had a lot of great moments this episode, but she didn't really talk.
No, she didn't.
You know.
And she said a lot, even though she wasn't talking. Like,
Right. You know, and she's one of the 3, like, main characters. You know, if her, Griffith, and Guts were the main 3.
She has moved back a little bit from the story because things are dealing with more of the kind of the political side of things.
Right.
But that's kind of the Band of the Hawk in general has moved a little bit into the background. But it is a great point to show that before this, Casca was by Griffith's side like 24/7 almost.
Oh yeah, and that whole like visual like bit that they did there where Griffith gets shot and Casca's there and she's like, you know, we need to make sure that you weren't scratched, all that stuff, and he's like, I'm fine. And then the princess is, you know, starts crying or whatever, and then Griffith moves to the princess, you know, and
there was this camera pan up, so to speak, where it shows Casca and Griffith, and Casca's kind of holding his shoulders, and it pans up from the two of them to reveal the princess. And the way that's set up is a very good, typical love triangle kind of situation here. So I was like, I see what you're doing there.
Yeah.
And here I was thinking that a long time ago that the love triangle problem was going to be Guts, Casca, and Griffith. I mean, that still could happen.
I mean, they could get into some weird, like, anime polygon stuff, you know?
Hey, yeah, that still could happen. We could get into a love like cube. You know,
there could be multiple love triangles, like
right. I mean, the king loves Griffith. Griffith loves Guts. Guts loves his sword, and his sword loves Battle, and Battle loves Casca or Griffith. You know, like it all makes sense now. Oh my gosh! All right, guys. This was great fun. I can't wait for the next one. If you want to see the next one, though, right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. Comes with Discord access. There are also full-length reactions there. We can check that whole thing out. And yeah, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.